Hello, EDL 602 students. This is your week 2 video for EDL 602. I wanted to come on just to give you some updates for assignments for this coming week. We do have 2 assignments that are due on Sunday. So let's kind of talk about those assignments. I'm going to share my screen so that I can go through those assignments with you. Wrong screen share for the day. We will look at the modules and the things that are due for this week for our class. So as we look at week 6, January 8th through the 14th, we are looking at reading chapter 6, which is our domain 6, which is resource management. So making sure that we're keeping up with our readings in our textbook and understanding each of the domains. So, and as well as domain 6, we're looking at reading chapter 7, which is implementation and scoring in your text. Chapter 7 is going to be important because that's where we will pull our second assignment from for this week. There's also some additional MDE resources to help you with your SMART Goals, part 2 of your SMART Goals assignment. And so those things are also here for you to view. I would like to start with talking about our part 2 of our SMART Goals assignment because it's been a while since you worked on that. Now, this is your group project that you've already started with the template that was provided for part 1. So you are adding on to that particular template, okay? So let's just be mindful of that as we're working in the group and that everyone has access to the data that was used in part 1. We are going to continue working on that. So for part 2 of your group assignment, we are now at the part where we're going to start identifying strategies to be used. If we can be reminded of part 1, during that time, you identified improvement areas, so areas of weaknesses according to the data. So now we're going to come up with 2 strategies for implementing each of our SMART goals, for implementing our SMART goals. So as we think about a strategy, I want you to know that now a strategy is what you're going to do, okay? And then evidence is another part of that. And the evidence is what you're going to use to determine if it was successful or not. So these 2 things are not going to be the same, okay? So strategies, what we're doing, evidence to show whether or not what we did was successful or not, okay? So that's the 2 parts of that. I know on the template, it gave 3 examples of strategies. For your requirement, you only need 2 strategies. So just be mindful of that. You're gonna put 2 strategies on the template. So with that being said, let's go through the expectations for this assignment. Your strategies should be different. You should have 2 different strategies to address the areas of concern. And they need to have within that spreadsheet or within your template, it has a place for you to identify the strategies, the evidence to be used, the timetable, how long will it take to get this strategy implemented, and who's the person responsible for it. So let's make sure we're filling out the entire template when we're working on that. When you're done with the template, you do have to write a narrative. And the narrative part of this area is what areas identified as needing improvement do you need to determine root causes. So your narrative is about the root cause. And so let's just stop for a minute and identify root causes. If a student is absent a lot, then that's a root cause, absenteeism. If a student is being checked out mid-class, that's a root cause. If a student is missing foundational skills, that's a root cause. I know we've had a lot of students do this assignment and put down COVID. Well, COVID isn't a root cause. You have to tell what is the thing about COVID that stopped a kid from getting, like, foundational skills could have been that student was virtual in first and second grade. So now we're struggling in third grade because we didn't learn foundational math skills or whatever it is that happened to make a student fall behind. So let's make sure when we identify root causes, we are putting things down that can actually, we can track back to see when there was a problem, where it started, basically. All right, so this narrative shouldn't be 3 or 4 pages long. A 1-page narrative will suffice for this activity, okay? So you're writing a paragraph describing how you identify the root causes. And then also with this assignment, remember to provide a copy of the data used. And if it is 4 people in a group, all four assignments, when I open them, they should mirror each other because you worked at as a group and everyone's done their part and turned in their assignment. And all assignments should be the same. And you all know that you have to write professionally, checking for your grammar, and then using APA format for this assignment, okay? So when you turn this in, it should have a cover page. It should have your template. It should have a narrative. And all of those things should be accompanied by the data that you used, okay? And then there's your rubric for this assignment if anyone needs to see the rubric to go back through it. All right, I am going to switch gears to the second assignment that is due this week. I can get back to that portion of it. So the second assignment that you have due is the evaluation process. So within your textbook for this class, you're going to look to chapter 7 in this book. And in chapter 7, on page 154, I have sticky notes all over my book. It's well loved. You will find this particular flow chart that is on page 154. Your job is to recreate this flow chart to illustrate the 5 steps of the evaluation cycle. Now, you cannot copy this one and put it in your paper because of copyright laws. That is why you have to recreate it yourself. And with that, you will write up a narrative, well, really not a narrative, but you will write up the different steps, each step, and how those steps work together to create a planning process and how it helps guide leaders in becoming better in their practice. So with that being said, let's make sure we're following APA format and that we are using in-text citation because all the information is coming from this book. It is not yours. So you do have to give credit to the authors that actually wrote the material. Now, with this assignment, you should have a title page, a brief introduction paragraph, then your flow chart should be next, and then a narrative portion of the assignment should be added there. And let's keep that to 1 page. And then you will close it out with a reference page citing your reference, which is your textbook. And that will conclude that assignment for the week. Now, let's make sure as we're doing our chart inside of this paper that we are looking at this information about the numbers, the title, and the image, and paying attention to that because that needs to be in APA format. Okay, so that assignment is also due on Sunday. There is a rubric here for you to follow. If you have any questions about this assignment, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email and I will get back with you in a timely manner. Upcoming things, we do have the mock teacher evaluation. It's due January 28th. So that's about 2 weeks out. Then on, we have another face-to-face class that's coming up on the 27th. and that class will be at 8 o'clock. Please make sure you clear your schedules to sign on for that class on January 28th at 8 o'clock. That is where your attendance comes from, and I would hate for your attendance to make your grade drop. So please make sure you're signing on to those. And if you're not going to sign on, please make sure you're emailing to let me know that you're not. The video recordings will be added after, but you still need to communicate that information to me. All of the students that are in the specialist program, let's keep in mind that your best practice assignment, you should be working on that as well, because that project will be coming up due on January 21st. So you should be working on that assignment as well. That is the information that I have for you for this week, for week 6 of our class. If you have any questions, any concerns, please make sure you send me an email so that I can look at it and respond to the best of my ability. But just so that you know, make sure we're continuing with the reading and not getting behind with our reading, making sure that we're understanding the 6 domains as we're reading through them, as well as making sure we're getting our assignments turned in on time. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And I hope that you all are having a very productive week back at school. Any questions, concerns, make sure you're sending me emails. That's all I have for week 6. Y'all have a great week. Bye-bye.